On today's episode of the Fumblerooski podcast, go over a couple signings. The Tennessee Titans with a big rebrand, an awesome rebrand to say the least. We're going to talk about the Seahawks, them losing a lot of key players from their Super Bowl team. A couple other moves that happened over the weekend as well, including today, Justin Fields getting traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 Dean Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. We got Tuck, we got CJ, we got myself, Chris. How's you guys' weekend?
Not bad. I can't complain. Decent weekend.
Yeah.
A lot better than the week, but not bad.
Fair enough. CJ.
Yeah. My weekend was great. I can't complain. Just hanging with the boys, with the fellas. It was a good time.
I like it. Yeah, on Saturday morning, I had to go down to Yale to do a baseball game. Same thing with Sunday, but I stayed in Connecticut. But Saturday morning, wild morning for your boy. 4 a.m. The smoke alarms are screaming, going off. No fire. There was no fire smoke in my house. Don't worry. Just one of those things, right? And that went on for a good 5 minutes. Thankfully, was able to go back to sleep, but that was one of those like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Wake up at 8 a.m. My shoulder is just something's wrong with it. Like, I am feeling an immense amount of pain. Woke up, must have just slept on it the wrong way. Go to put on a shirt to start the morning, snap my chain.
Oh.
Rough. Terrible start to the morning. But it's all right. The rest of the weekend went all right. But now I gotta figure out a new chain because I'm going bearless on the chest right now. It's a little not feeling naked.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this past weekend, including some stuff from today. Do you guys want to start from what we missed on Thursday? Since oddly enough, we talked about this pre-show, but for some reason we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
We can blame me for this one, but the Titans rebrand. New logo, new colors, new uniforms. Love it. Love all of it. Unfortunately, don't have a picture of the logo in the system right now to flash it, just so we can have it up. But what are you guys' thoughts? I think that it's freaking awesome. The logo itself is sick. The colors are great. I like how it's going back to, the Houston Oil. The whole thing is essentially Houston Oilers. And I think just the 90s colors in general, like 90s colorways. You could look at any sport and it's freaking sick. And this is a color scheme that I think that Titans should have never went away from to begin with. Obviously they, back in the day when they went from Oilers to Titans, they wanted to differentiate themselves, of course, from Houston, but this was the right move. This was the right move by all means.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with that. The uniforms look amazing, especially when you see the picture of them and then the promotional video of them with Cam Moore in the uniform. I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. It came out of nowhere for me because all of a sudden late at night I saw it. I was like, where did this come from and why am I now just hearing about this? These unis are so sick. The logo looks good. The unis look good. I'm not sure if this will help them play better on the field, but all in all, these unis are appealing to me. They look very good, and I hope they look good. I hope they make them play better this year. And so icy. They're just so icy and so good. Now, we got to figure out where they rank as far as uniforms are concerned, but all in all,
Maybe. Are we about to slide an extra segment into the show today? Ranking
At some
uniforms.
point, nah, man. During like the dead zone after the draft for like the offseason, that's something we got to do. That logo rankings, like there's a lot we haven't done that we should do.
We could
Let's
do
do that
logos and we can do uniform rankings. We don't have to do it now. That's just something
do Thursday.
I'm telling
Let's
you,
do it
after
Thursday.
the draft or the dead zone of the offseason, you gotta get content out some way or another. Maybe we could put it on Instagram, get a few followers. We don't know.
All right, fair enough. I like it.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea, CJ.
Yeah. Well, look at us. We're cooking. CJ's cooking ideas. I like it. CJ, your thoughts on the uni and rebrand?
I actually have a love-hate relationship with this because I love the unis. I do. I love the Oilers colors. I love the word art. I love just the way they look. I'm just not crazy about the logo. It's a little generic-y for my taste. Hot take, I really like the other Titans logo, the one they just went away from, the fire, the sword-looking T, a little shadow on it. I thought it was cool. I really liked it. The new one, I think it's fine. It does the job. It's a logo, but I just don't think it had that flair and pizzazz that the old one did. And the uniforms, though, I love. They had to go back to those Oilers colors. But that's not, like I said, uniforms great, logos.
Yeah, honestly, I could get with that in terms of the logo. Like it would have been cool to see like the modern logo with the Oilers colors.
Yeah, I would have been hip with that. I would have.
Yeah.
But the
That'd be
problem
cool.
is like the T in the center doesn't have that shading, that made it look like a sword. It's all about the shading. You got to do that. And, it's such an underappreciated aspect of logos because a lot of them are kind of flat, which that makes sense given that saw whole videos to why logos have gotten more simplistic, basically so that they can look better, smaller, which I get that. But a lot of them do. For example, the Kansas City Chiefs, there's a slight shadow behind, the K and the C. That's what makes it pop. Even the Los Angeles Rams, we're not crazy about that logo, but they do have shadows. They do have a gradient to it, and that's nice. Heck, our team, the Patriots, there's no immediate shadows, but you can tell it's all about line angles. Like you look at the nose and how the line's a little thicker. That's what we call implied shadow. It makes it stick out more. Vikings, same thing. On some of like the facial lines, you see they vary in thickness to imply shadow. That's what we want. That's all. It's just without those implied lines, without those gradients, like I said, you don't even have to like change the color. Just if you alternate between like line thicknesses, you can give the illusion of shadow. It makes the logo pop a little more. That's all. Keep in mind, I know nothing about art. That was just like off the dome. I could have just speaking nonsense for all I know.
I mean, this was kind of turned into a marketing class, marketing 101 with CJ Medeiros as your professor.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Anything else we wanted to touch on from this?
They better play better.
I hope it makes them play better.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, some of the moves they've made, I hope so.
Because you can't get new uniforms and go like 4-13 here now. Like,
yeah, unless
they did that.
Yep, I remember that. But like, that was a good rebrand still too, or
it was a rebrand. That doesn't matter if Jacksonville did it as well, but they weren't. But that was actually needed because remember they had those two-tone helmets. God, that was disgusting.
Yeah, they went back to.
I remember those days.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought it back to 2010. But now let's bring it back to 1999. The alternates that they got, the throwback alternates, let's just make those the permanent ones. Just make those the permanent ones. That's all you need to do next.
Going to, and it annoys us every time this gets brought up. The retro ones, we want them to be permanents, and they won't be permanents.
Yeah, and plus a lot of teams like their a lot of teams like their retro logos were better. Like obviously I'm biased. I'm a Pats fan, but New England. That was insane. Philly also, they were that was a great logo. Denver, with the guy on the Bronco, That was cool. The Jacksonville Jaguars, like the full body there, the Cincinnati Bengals, we have options is all I'm saying.
But we
Even
won't exploit them.
Oh, the Rams too, when they were in St. Louis, that was a cool logo. Like, I'm just saying.
yeah. Maybe we could do that on Thursday as well. Do teams that need a rebrand.
I'm all in.
Or we could do it right now.
No. We got to get to more stuff next
True.
time. Though. Like I'm telling you, we got to save this for after the draft for that dead zone.
I swear to you, we only come up with the good ideas while we're actually recording sometimes.
I know.
We all know whose fault that is.
Oh, it's okay.
Fate, weird stuff.
Speaking on the Titans, they released L'Jarius Sneed over the weekend, saving $11.4 million. In terms of L'Jarius Sneed, I just thought him getting the contract that he got when he did was a little ridiculous. And everyone was just like, oh, he's the best corner in the league because he locked up Tyreek Hill. And it's like, okay, great. He locked him up in 0-degree weather. And nobody nobody wants to run in that. It's pretty easy to stop fast players when they're in sub-freezing weather. I just never really saw the hype in L'Jarius Sneed. So the contract that he got, I thought was ridiculous in itself. And this just goes to show I was right, I guess. Thoughts from you guys?
I understood why he got the contract because he went on this good run of beating all the quality teams in the AFC, the Miami, the Bills, the Ravens, and then won the Super Bowl against the 49ers. So I understood why it happened. I wouldn't have paid him myself, but I understood why it happened. Now, could he still come back to Kansas City and be a quality cornerback? Of course he could, because he understands the system. He's been a part of it, and that's what got him paid in the first place. But I'm not sure if he'll be cornerback 1 or anything like that, but he's still talented enough to play in this league. I don't think he'll go I'm not sure he's done just yet.
Oh man. I think I was another one that didn't really get the contract. I understood why, and I understand the inflation that skill position markets cause, but Tennessee just never seemed like a place where he would fit, He just he was never really a scheme fit. He didn't really gel. Also, as soon as he left Kansas City, he got pile driven by injuries. I mean, he only played in and started 5 games in his first season as a Titan. That was in 2024. In 2025, 7. He played in a whopping 7 games for the Titans. So, all told, he played in and started 12 games for the Tennessee Titans across 2 seasons, where he had a combined 49 tackles, once again across 2 seasons, 3 passes broken up, didn't force or recover any fumbles, and did not intercept a single pass. And if you look at the advanced defense, he allowed a 58.2% completion percentage as well, which is just not ideal. I mean, yards isn't, that's not going to tell the whole story because he wasn't always on the field, but he did give up 4 touchdowns across 12 games across 2 seasons. So it didn't really fit from the start, and I don't know where he goes now. I mean, good on the Titans for saving over $11 million, but that was just one of those contracts that probably shouldn't have been signed to begin with. But then again, that's why they have a new GM.
Facts. Yeah. See if he goes back to KC, especially with no more Trent McDuffie. Of course, Chiefs traded L'Jarius Sneed after tagging him, and then proceeded to get a 4-year, $76.4 million deal with $51 million total guaranteed money. Only lasted 2 seasons. Anything else we want to touch on from L'Jarius Sneed?
Nope.
No.
All right. Let's go over one more thing from this past weekend. CJ Gardner-Johnson getting a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills.
It definitely helps out the secondary. And when CJ was on the Bears, he was definitely productive. I want to see where he fits and whether or not he'll stick to the Bills, because he was supposed to be with the Texans and then he left and then went to the Ravens, then he left and then went to the Bears. So it'll be interesting to see if he sticks on to the Bills team. They need the secondary help, and I think he provides them something that they're sorely lacking. And hopefully this helps them to get one step closer to where they want to be. I think it's a solid pickup for a 1-year rental, which is basically what this is. And we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah.
The problem with CJ Gardner-Johnson has never been his play on the field. It's been his attitude. His biggest weakness has always been his personality, which some people find him funny, some people find it endearing, but coaches apparently find it to be neither, and understandably so. He's like if George Pickens played defense, like he just crashes out constantly. And I think this is a bit, even though he's on 1-year deal, dealing with a guy like him is going to be a bit of a tall task for a new head coach, Joe Brady. So I have a question. Do you think, all right, so basically, when is the big CJ Gardner-Johnson losing his temper moment, crash out type thing going to happen? Before or after week 9?
Before, because I think Josh Allen will throw a pick that doesn't make any sense, and he'll just be like, "What are you doing?"
And I think we can all agree we can all respect Gardner Johnson's game, but it's a matter of when, not if, he loses his temper.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like some random like week 6 game, and the Bills are like end up losing said game as well on some ridiculous shit.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like how they randomly lost to like the Falcons or the Jets last season.
I think
Josh Allen was just
or the Dolphins. I mean,
yeah,
I'm in Miami. Yeah, I mean defensive help, but we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of our show, which regards a couple moves that were made on Monday, including Dallas Goedert signing a 1-year deal and Justin Fields traded to the Chiefs, and a deep dive on Seahawks losing a lot of key players from their Super Bowl squad. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
All right, so Dallas Goedert gets a 1-year deal to come back to the Philadelphia Eagles, which was announced on Monday morning. When this deal initially came out, I think it was Drake Mays King tweeted out immediately, AJ Brown's going to the Patriots, and I was like, wait, what the fuck did I miss? So that was a nice little jump scare to start the morning. Which there was also, we could get a little bit more into AJ Brown if we want, because there was some more news, but it was obviously just more of the same bullshit from over the weekend. But if you're Philly, this is great to bring back Dallas Goedert. He's been a mainstay for Philly for last however many years. Been as reliable as of a tight end as you can get. And yeah, that's my take.
As far as Dallas Goedert is concerned, I think he's like a security blanket for Jalen Hurts. And for Jalen Hurts, you need a guy like Dallas Goedert at the tight end spot. And so I think it's a win-win for all of them. He gets a new contract, even though it's only for a rental. They didn't franchise tag him. And Jalen Hurts gets to keep his guy for another year. Long-term, however, they need to figure out a way to get Jalen Hurts weapons. It's already bad enough he can't consistently keep an OC. Sometimes it's not even his fault. But Same time, they need to figure out a way to make sure this offense like stays consistent throughout the whole season. Because if they go the same way they went last year, AJ Brown's going to crash out eventually. I see it happening. He's already reading books on the sideline just to keep his composure. The last thing he needs is to go through another season like this. So I think they need to figure out a way to get him weapons, whether through the draft or somewhere else. But I don't know. This is a good signing for both of them, but it doesn't move me outside of like, oh, Jalen Hurts keeps his guy. So other than that, either they make a trade or they go through the drafts. It might be a struggle for Philadelphia to get Jalen Hurts surrounded with pieces. He does have Devontae Smith. He does have AJ Brown, but it's like it's a struggle right now for the Eagles, and they need to figure it out.
I don't know. Like Tuck, this isn't like a needle mover for me. I think it's good that they were able to keep their guy, but does this keep your championship window open? Because I did see a lot of Eagles fans saying that they wouldn't mind moving on from him. Now, this is a 1-year rental, so I'll keep my thoughts brief. I think what they do in the draft is going to be very indicative of his future. If they use their first or second round pick on a tight end, then like I think this will truly be just like a 1-year rental. And the only reason they did anything, you could argue at least, that the only reason they signed him back was because if he was allowed to hit the open market, then it would have incurred like a pretty nasty dead cap hit.
Yeah, I mean, he is 31. He's about to be 32. So he is on the wrong side of 30. So it makes sense that you're going to go on a rental on this guy. And, you know, this last season ended up being, in terms of, I guess, receiving, it was the most catches that he's ever had in his career. It wasn't the most receiving yards, but it also was the most receiving touchdowns that he's ever had with 11. 6 catches, 591 yards, and 11 touchdowns. He's obviously a huge goal line threat, especially when they're not giving the ball to AJ Brown. But, you know, I think there's still is something to say about him being able to still put up some solid numbers at 31 years old. Can he do it again at 32? We'll see. But, I mean, as you guys mentioned, in terms of, you know, how the rest of the offseason has gone for Philly, going to need a little bit more than just retaining Dallas Goedert, which, you know, you lose Jalen Phillips, lost Nakobe Dean, lost Reed Blankenship. Now, in terms of the guys they did sign, Braden Mann, or I don't know why I said Braden Mann, he's a fucking punter, but Tarek Woolen's a good guy to have. You got him on a 1-year deal, but you still need more, especially for who you lost.
And now you accompany that with, of course, the drama with AJ Brown and all the
news stories that came up this past weekend. Yeah, you're going to need to do a little bit more. Now, Howie Roseman is your GM, so he's going to figure it the fuck out. But yeah, of course, the not news from over the weekend in terms of AJ Brown was that the Rams and the Pats were seemingly like they were going to be all in, seemingly like there was about to be a deal made with one of the two teams over the weekend. And then nothing happened, of course. And sounds like that if anything's going to happen, it's going to be after June 1st, which the Eagles cap hit on AJ Brown significantly lowers. Doesn't mean that they're going to cut him. That's not really what they're going to try to do, or release him. They're definitely not going to try to do that because it's still a solid cap hit that they would have to eat. But, you know, it's something, I guess. Something to keep a potential eye on.
Could you imagine AJ Brown with the Patriots?
No.
Could you imagine AJ Brown on the fucking Rams? Like if the Rams were able to swing that, like they're essentially gonna they would have had to like send over Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
like
I don't know. Like, I can't see it. I just can't see him getting traded. Trade rumors have been haunting him for years, and now it's just like, all right, either it's gonna happen or it doesn't. I'm so done with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Another news that happened Monday, Justin Fields traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. This coming after the prodigal son of the New York Jets, Geno Smith, returns to the team. I mean, the writing was on the wall for Justin Fields for basically since the start of last season, or really since before the start of last season, that this was just going to be a one-year thing. And there's no hope for Justin Fields. And lo and behold, there was no hope for Justin Fields. Now he goes to Kansas City, which honestly, for Justin Fields, probably the best thing that could have happened. He gets to work with Andy Reid. He gets to work behind Patrick Mahomes and maybe be competent. Maybe be a competent quarterback that isn't so reliant on his legs.
this is an interesting pickup because when he was with the Jets, you would see flashes here or there how good he could be, but the Jets were so incompetent, you really couldn't see it. Like, for an example, he played good against the Patriots, but then he played like ass against the Broncos. And so it's like, you never knew what you were getting from Justin Fields, and it was a problem, which is why eventually Tyrod Taylor took his spot. But all in all, I think this could be a great opportunity for him, specifically because Patrick Mahomes is injured and he's not 100%. I'm not sure if he can go opening day, but if he can't, I think Justin Fields has more than enough time to display his talents on the field for that one game and to see what he really has. Now, if he plays really well and they absolutely beat their opponent, I think he might actually get himself a chance to be a starter somewhere else. Because let's face it, he's not going to be the long-term starter at quarterback for Kansas City. But I don't know, maybe another place where they need another quarterback in order to help one of their younger guys develop. I can see Justin Fields doing that. But it all depends on how well he plays in Kansas City. I don't think he has any excuses to play bad because he has Andy Reid. He has Patrick Mahomes to help him at the quarterback spot when he's injured. He has Rashid Rice. He has Travis Kelce, who miraculously came back for one final season. One more
And
season.
Eric Bieniemy is OC.
Mm-hmm. Eric Bieniemy's back at OC. So they have things surrounding him that can make him perform better. But all in all, this all comes down to whether or not Justin Fields will rise to the occasion and perform better than anything he's performed before. I think he can, but that remains to be seen.
I don't know, man. I mean, I know we want to paint Kansas City as the place where, oh, this is where you can get your career back on track. Andy Reid is the quarterback whisperer. But, like, is he, though? Like, is he actually? Because, I mean, outside of, like, Chad Henne subbing in for a few plays, what have backup quarterbacks in Kansas City really shown? Because Gardner Minshew we're talking about, just looked lost when he played.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a deer in headlights. Same thing with Chris Oladokun as well. And granted, you could argue it's Chris Oladokun, but that does explain why Gardner Minshew looked so bad. And Fields, how he played for the Jets, how he's played his whole career. Everybody loves to zero in on like the 2% of plays he makes, like that one deep ball or that 150-yard touchdown run where he evades the entire defense. But you have to realize that the other 98% of that is just bad. I really think this could be his last chance. If he, starts for Kansas City and they struggle, then I think then it might be over. Then I don't even know if he's there as a backup or if he's anywhere as a backup. Because even if he leads the Chiefs to a winning record, this is where we really got to put our thinking caps on here and say, okay, let's just say Mahomes misses the first 4 weeks, right, with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
and say the Chiefs are 3-1 and 2-2. It would be incumbent upon us to deep dive into those games and say, all right, did the Chiefs win with Fields or did they win because of him? And if that does happen, I got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be win with.
I don't know. I see your point. I'm not sure I can trust Justin Fields right now. I'm not sure he can be the win because of him right now. But again, we didn't think that way about Sam Darnold. I didn't think Seattle could win with Sam Darnold at quarterback based upon how he played in Minnesota when he came into the clutch. But he proved me wrong. He's a Super Bowl champion. Justin Fields has amazing potential when he actually puts it all together. Like, it's not often, but when he puts it all together, you can see why he was taken number 10 overall by Chicago. But I think it might be a struggle for him. I think he'll play 2 games this year, obviously, but I don't know. I'd have to see Justin Fields like during preseason just to get an idea of how good he'll look under Andy Reid. Because if he looks good in preseason and then he has a game or two where he performs well, I think he will get another chance in this league. But the inconsistencies kill me.
I also think this is most likely maybe his last chance. And look, when you look at the situation that the Chiefs have, and Mahomes still rehabbing his ACL and LCL tear from December, the expectation is that Mahomes is going to be starting week 1, but obviously you never really know. And so throughout this summer, Justin Fields is going to be the one that's going to be operating the offense. He's currently listed as QB2 on the depth chart. So he's going to be the one that's going to be operating the offense till Mahomes gets back throughout the summer, throughout training camp. So yeah, he's going to get some preseason reps. He's going to get a lot of them. So we'll see how that ends up going. In terms of the trade in general, Chiefs sent over a 2027 6th round pick in terms of the contract to facilitate the trade, straight from ESPN article from Nate Taylor and Rich Kamini. To facilitate the trade, the Jets are paying $7 million of Fields' $10 million guaranteed salary for 2026. Kansas City will pay the remaining $3 million, which is much like what the Jets are doing right now with Geno Smith. The Jets will pay, because the Jets are currently paying Geno $3.3 million and the Raiders paying $16.2. So yeah. Anything else we want to touch on from this?
No, not really.
Brah.
How well do you think Geno will do on the Jets since this is his return?
Yeah, I don't think we even really touched on it last week either.
Probably better. He's going to be able to push the ball down the field, actually. Pass game is probably going to be better, but Geno's going from one really dysfunctional situation to another, and we saw how he did in that dysfunctional situation. So,
fair enough.
CJ, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's basically what you said. I don't have a lot of confidence, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to the Seahawks.
They've had quite an interesting offseason, mainly for the guys that they've lost. Now, I will say they re-signed Rashid Shaheed to a $51 million 3-year deal, but it's really the defensive side of the football, obviously offensive, that they took a massive hit. Kenneth Walker got signed to the Chiefs. That was probably one of the biggest, probably top 3 biggest signings from free agency. Ended up signing him to a $14.35 million deal. Massive steal for the Chiefs. Defensively, Mafe Boye, Kobe Bryant, and Tariq Woolen, the 3 major losses that they had, especially for a Seahawks team that going into this offseason were top 5 in cap space. And they've only been able to resign. And, that was the big story with this team. A Super Bowl winning team. They had some free agents, but there were a lot of guys. But because of the cap space, it was enough where they were going to be able to retain a lot of these guys, or should have been able to retain a lot of these guys. Well, here we are on March 16th, a good week after free agency has started, and they've already lost massive pieces to their Super Bowl winning team, including the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
So where do you and CJ kind of brought this up right before the show too. And when you look at the Seahawks, I mean, seeing who they lost, it's hard to say that they're going to go back to back next year because of it. Now they do have, obviously Mike McDonald's a really good coach, but a coach is sometimes only as good as the guys that are on the field and who you can retain and who you can keep. And, being repeat Super Bowl champs or going back to back is hard enough in itself. You're making it harder on yourself by not retaining guys when you absolutely can. Like you're trying, are you trying to really tell me that you couldn't retain Mafe Boye for 20 mil for 3 years? Like Kenneth Walker, like we kind of touched on it last week in terms of, he was probably sick of sharing the workload with what's his face?
Zach Charbonnet.
But like Kobe Bryant could have signed him for 13.3 a year. Tariq Woolen, he went for 12 mil on a 1-year deal. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And looking at where they are in terms of cap space right now, if I can actually get myself to the right page, they're still sitting 7th at 44 mil. Thoughts from you guys?
Seattle. What are you up to? When looking at who's leaving and what they're signing for, it could be they just said, we do not believe you are worth this contract. We're not going to match it. You can leave. We're going to give you this amount, and we're not going any higher. It could be something like that. Or they could just think they can just go through the draft and get players to replace the ones that just left. I'm not sure how many picks they have this year, but it has to be around 7. So I think they can find pieces to like plug and play. I'm not sure.
They have 4.
Yeah. They only have 4
picks? Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
And each of their picks essentially are like the last pick of each round. Rounds 1 through 3 and round 6. Pick 188.
Sounds like they didn't get any compensatory picks either.
No.
That's rough. That is.
They probably won't next year.
Yeah. But geez Louise, this is going to be tough for them. I still think they'll be in the playoffs because they still have the nucleus around them to do it. But man, if this keeps up and they don't sign any players in their own right or trade for some players, this can go horrible in a hurry. So hopefully they're able to find pieces that mesh well with what they're trying to do. Hopefully they find themselves a running back and a pass rusher, because those are quality positions that you need quality players at. But all in all, it's a bit strange that they didn't re-sign the people I thought they were going to re-sign, but they still have the chance to make the playoffs with what they have. Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to sit here and say that they're not going to make the playoffs again. I think that's utterly ridiculous. It's still a very good team, but with what they've lost and what your at least 2026 looks like in terms of the draft, yeah, obviously, I mentioned where they are in terms of cap space, where they are in terms of the rest of the league. And, obviously I'm saying that you could have easily retained these guys. You probably aren't going to be able to retain all those guys for the contracts that they ended up going for, right?
Mhm.
And Tuck, you make a great point that you make a good point that maybe they didn't see them as being valued or should have been valued that much. Perfect sense. If they even resign or don't resign one of those guys, we're having a much different conversation than we are right now.
Yeah. Jeez, it's rough. I wouldn't say it's rough because they just got over winning a Super Bowl, so I'm not sure if they're preparing for like a Super Bowl hangover or something of that type. But what do they? It's kind of late in the game for them to be hunting like free agents to help fill spots. I'm not sure that it'll work. So they're going to have to go through the draft, but they don't even have good draft positions, and they only have 4 draft picks, so they're going to have to make each and every single one of them count, which could be a struggle. But all in all, not bad. But I don't know what direction they're trying to go in. This kind of throws me for a loop.
Yeah. No, it does. It does. CJ guy, what do you got? Talk to me.
I just hate all these snotty Seahawks fans on Instagram saying, we're not gonna miss them. No, you just need to learn ball. We're saving our money so that we can extend JSN and Witherspoon. And to those Seahawks fans, I say, sounds to me like you're trying to convince yourself of that more than you're convincing me. You know? I think they're trying to say that to soothe themselves more than they're trying to answer any of my doubts. You lost a lot of talent, and some people try to explain it away as, oh, well, when you win the Super Bowl, your free agents get really more expensive. But the problem is, going into this free agency, you were top 10 in cap space, and you are still. You didn't really make any needle-moving signings. Like, you got Josh Jobe and Rashid Shaheed back, but you lost Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. You lost one of your top edge rushers in Boye Mafe. You lost your corner 2 in Tariq Woolen, and you lost your starting safeties in Kobe Bryant. And unless you draft 4 Pro Bowlers off the rip, I'm not going to be super confident in your development. And even now, also losing their OC, that's going to hurt as well. Of course, but we knew that. So next season, I think we're about to find out what this team is really made of. Somebody, I think it might have been Bill Belichick, said something to the effect of getting there. I'm paraphrasing, like, oh, getting there is nice, but like, can you stay there? And we're about to find that out.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, though, if you just do the basic math, they could have re-signed all those guys and still had money for JSN and Witherspoon. Any argument to the contrary is like factually incorrect.
Yeah. And John Schneider being the GM of the Seahawks for the last 15, 16 years as well. I mean, if there's going to be anyone to rebuild a team into a Super Bowl team, it's probably him, considering he's done it 3 times since he became the GM. But all the credit to him, of course, for getting those building teams to get there. So I think if you're a Seahawks fan, I think you have good faith in what could potentially come. Anything else we want to touch on?
No.
Outside of where we see the Seahawks potentially finishing with what we've seen so far. Tuck, you're muted.
Sorry, 5 or 16 right now, because I think the Rams right now look like the best team in the NFC with the addition of Trent McDuffie. So they'd have to be a wild card team, but I still think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, like I don't know if I could see them winning 14 games again, because winning 14 games in its own right is extremely hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them being like a hair below it at like 12, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. All right. CJ, you looked like you wanted to say something.
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's run some immaculate grid. Immaculate grid.
Oh, we're so back.
We're so back. For the listeners that cannot see the screen, Steelers Bengals, Steelers Titans, Steelers Jags, Dolphins Bengals, Dolphins Titans, Dolphins Jaguars, and a Bengal, Titan, and Jaguar receiver that caught for 1,000+ receiving yards in a season. All right. Where do we want to start? Should we knock down the right column here? Get this John out of the way.
So for the Steelers, obviously we got a few options.
Well, Bengals, you mean?
No, yeah, for the Bengals, yeah. We have a few options. Jamar Chase, Chad Johnson. There's another one whose name is escaping me. AJ Green, of course.
Yeah, but they're obvious.
So, like, who else? Did Chris Collinsworth ever go for 1,000 yards on the Bengals?
I would assume he did. He was really good in the 80s. I was also thinking like TJ Hushmanzada. But that's the thing is where could you go? Like, I don't really know of any other receivers that they had that went for 1,000.
Did Mohamed Sanu ever, by chance, if AJ Green was hurt, Marvin Jones?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, my go-to would be Chris Collinsworth, just because I don't.
Tyler Boyd.
Less obvious. Did he, though?
Boyd potentially, because he was essentially wide receiver 1 a couple years.
Yeah, but the Bengals' passing attack was really, like, especially when he was really hitting his stride, it wasn't really that good. I think he did it in 2018, but
yeah, I know Tyler Boyd did it.
Yeah.
Should we hit Tyler Boyd?
You know what? Why not?
4%. Nice.
Sweet.
Right. Oh my God, we could have used. No, we couldn't have. I was about to say.
I wonder where TJ Hushmanzada would have ended up. Titans, Jags. This might be a little bit tougher.
Did Allen Robinson ever do it with the Jags, or Allen Hurns?
Yes,
maybe?
Allen Robinson did it with the Jags. Allen Hurns did it with the Jags, as a matter of fact.
Now, which is the more niche one, Hurns or Robinson? I feel like Hurns.
What about you guys remember Jimmy Smith?
Yes, I remember Jimmy Smith.
I mean, he's super underrated. Did he ever go for 1,000 with the Jags?
Yeah, it's
I think so.
Like,
definitely
that's the thing, though. It's he's super underrated, but I don't know. Or Keenan McCardle is another one. I don't.
Keenan McCardle?
Yeah, Keenan. Yeah, he was there. I think he played alongside Jimmy Smith there. They were a pretty good duo. But
did he get 1,000?
I don't know, Chris. I would go Jimmy Smith just off. I don't know. He would have been.
I feel like Allen Hurns would be more niche.
But did he even hit that number though?
Yeah, he did in 2015.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because him and what's his face both went off for like 1,000 yards separately one year, and that was the only good year that they had.
Oh yeah, no, you're right about Hurns. I remember him in 2015. You're right.
All right, I'm hitting Hurns.
Yeah.
Oh, 6%.
Oh, we'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Titans. Ugh.
You can go DeAndre Hopkins here.
Yeah.
But did he do it with the Titans?
Yes.
Yep. Could go Hopkins. I'm trying to think of guys that were during the Steve McNair years. There's one
Eric Mason is too well known, so that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I wonder if Frank Wycheck ever got 1,000, but he definitely didn't. This would be This would be a great question for our friend from Tennessee.
Oh yeah, Blaine Bishop.
Yeah. He would probably run through this whole middle section of Titans.
Yep.
He'd be all over that shit. Should I go D-Hop?
Yeah, why not?
13%.
Less than I thought. All right.
Yeah. All right. Where do we want to attack now?
Let me think. I'm trying to think of
Jags, Dolphins, Julian Thomas.
Oh, I like that.
who could forget.
Or Julius Thomas, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I just not know how to spell Julius? Yeah, I guess I don't. 2%. Nice.
Nice.
Good pull.
Mhm.
For Bengals Steelers, you remember that backup quarterback Bruce Gradkowski?
Yes. Yes, I do. 3%. Nice.
All right.
I guess I didn't realize he played for the Steelers. I knew he played for the Bengals.
Yeah, he was a backup for a bit.
Oh, Allen Robinson for Steelers Jaguars.
Yes, there we go.
Oh yeah, he fell off though after he left Jacksonville.
I was also just gonna say Jalen Ramsey just to say him as well. 16%. Oh wow. That's a little high.
Ooh. For Steelers Titans, you remember that wide receiver Nate Washington?
Yes, I do.
He's
Can
one.
never forget about Nate Washington. He was a staple on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
7%.
Dang, I thought it'd be. Well,
And he's in a Patriots jersey. Hell yeah. Come on now.
yeah, everyone forgets that he just didn't make the team.
Yeah. All right. Now we need a Dolphin, a Bengal, and a Dolphin and a Titan.
A Dolphin and a Bengal. Did Ray Malaluga ever play for the Dolphins? I'm pretty sure I know he left Cincinnati, but I don't know where he went.
I couldn't tell you.
I was going to say Dolphins, Titans, Malik Willis, but he just got to the Dolphins.
Yeah, so that wouldn't count because he hasn't played a snap yet.
I mean, it's too easy for Dolphins Bengals, but Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's one.
Yeah.
Samaje Perine, I think, as well for Dolphins Titans. Oh no, for Dolphins Bengals, either or.
Did he play for the Dolphins?
Perine, yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go Perine because I would assume that most people are probably going to go the route of Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I'd be correct, 2%. There we go.
Well, there's Ryan Tannehill and Dolphins Titans, but
yeah, that might be too obvious.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Cameron Wake was another one, but
Yep.
Jonnu Smith is another.
Yeah, I think Jonnu
Smith did as well.
Who?
Jerome Baker at linebacker. Yeah, they trade a lot of good players.
Baker may be too obvious. But is it?
Jonnu
Smith definitely is too obvious because of the year that he just had with Miami.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. They used to have a tight end, Anthony Fasano. Madden legend, if you know.
Let's go there. 1%. Goodness gracious. We're here, man.
Wow.
6.4 was the average score.
What was ours?
55 rarity score. Allen Robinson kind of fucked us.
And D-Hop. But yeah, that was a good job, fellas.
Yeah. Look at this. Only wasn't a lot to choose from in terms of 1,000-yard receiving seasons, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Only 8 for the Jaguars, 16 for the Titans, 11 for the Bengals.
8 for the Jaguars.
And yeah, It's a damn good thing we didn't go Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was 46% most
And
popular.
we didn't go Ryan Tannehill either.
Yeah, 64%. Jalen Ramsey went 35%, 50% for Jags, Dolphins, Jags, Steelers. Mason Rudolph for Steelers, Titans, James Harrison for Bengals, Steelers, which a little surprising. I feel like a lot of people forget that James Harrison played for the Bengals, but
Yeah.
AJ Brown, most obvious Titan, 1,000-yard receiver. Brian Thomas was the most obvious 1,000-yard receiver for the Jaguars. And no big surprise, Jamar Chase was the most obvious Bengal to receive 1,000 yards. Wow. I think this might be the first time I've actually seen people get in the 50s in terms of accuracy for this. Bengals Steelers 53%, which makes sense. I feel like not a lot of teams, at least AFC North wise, end up staying within the division when they leave their primary team outside of like Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco's a little bit different. He just does it for the love of the fucking game, man.
True.
True shit. True shit. Right to us. How about that? Anthony Fasano, 1%, right smack in the fucking middle.
Julius Thomas, 2%. Somebody P. Ryan, 2%.
Got some good pulls here.
But again, Allen Robinson was too high up, and so was DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? All right. Anything else on the ledger before we end the show?
Nope.
No.
No? You sure? Okay. That's all the scheduled content that we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. New episode coming out on Friday at 8 a.m. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have all our episodes available on every streaming platform available right now. Be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast. Keep up with the pod and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, we will see you on Friday. Over and out.